Good afternoon. I'm Daniela Illebek, the Legal Advisor to Freedom of Religion South Africa. Joining me on today's Zoom call is Michael Swain, 4SA's Executive Director. And we are going to be giving our weekly update on what is happening on the front lines in the fight for faith and freedom. Now, 4SA has just had a very successful conference on religious freedom and the rule of law last week in Stellenbosch. And at the same time, the National Assembly's Justice Committee also voted on the hate speech bill. And 4SA had a meeting with the Deputy Minister of Justice, Mr. John Jeffery, to discuss various matters. So this has been a very busy time for 4SA. Michael, I understand that we have been talking about the conference for quite some time. Perhaps for viewers and listeners who aren't aware of it, can you tell us more about it and also what happened and what were the main outputs from last week's conference?
Well, this is a conference that we organized in association with the Institute for Global Engagement, which is a Washington, D.C.-based organization that fully sponsored this conference. And the topic of the conference was religious freedom and the rule of law. And the purpose of the conference was to emphasize that when religious freedom is correctly integrated and implemented within the legal system of any nation, we can demonstrably see that the whole of society basically benefits from it. And they had international speakers from around the world that were addressing us. And the conference itself was attended by a wonderful, very high-level range of different delegates from academia, from politics, senior religious leaders, legal experts as well. And it was a great time. It was 2 days and in Stellenbosch, and we really, I think, ended up with a very, very positive result.
No, it was fantastic. Also, just to add in, it was attended by some very high-level representatives from various civil society organizations, which do amazing work. So that was really, really wonderful. Now, Michael, what would you say were the main outputs from it?
Well, I think for me, apart from the really beneficial opportunity to network and to actually build relationships in the sort of times, it's often the meetings in between the meetings that are where the best value lies.
Yes.
But I think for me particularly, there was also delegates attending from several Sub-Saharan African nations. And there was very much an impetus generated within those nations and by those delegates to look at forming an organization similar to 4SA in their organizations. So that's certainly something that's just been on my heart for many years, to really try and influence the policy making and the legal making of several South African or Sub-Saharan African countries. I think that's going to be something which we're going to be involved with in the future.
Wonderful.
And so, Daniela, in the middle of that conference, we slipped out and we went into Parliament to meet with Deputy Minister John Jeffery of the Department of Justice. Tell us a little bit about that meeting.
So, as viewers and listeners may know, a number of the more controversial bills from a religious freedom point of view have their origin in the Department of Justice. So, 4SA has been requesting a meeting with the Deputy Minister for some time to discuss getting input on these bills, or perhaps being able to give a religious freedom view of these bills before they open up for public comment, so that the Department of Justice isn't unnecessarily inundated with over 100,000 submissions on a religious freedom point that they didn't even see or is an unintended consequence of the bill, as is the case with the PEPUDA Amendment Bill, which was one of the big bills that would directly affect religious freedom and the autonomy of religious organizations in very fundamental ways. And where the department actually said that is not even something that is their intention with the bill. They didn't even see that as an unintended consequence. So 4SA had this meeting with the department and we said to them, look, we want to work with you. We come with high-level expertise in the realm of religious freedom law. If there are bills that you are thinking of tabling in Parliament, opening up for public comment, we're happy to look at these and give input on whether or not they unintentionally affect religious freedom rights, so that this can be rectified before they're open for public comment, or if so, if done, is it intentional? And we had a very good meeting with the Deputy Minister. And regarding the PEPUDA Amendment Bill, the Deputy Minister said that the department will not be tabling it in Parliament before the 2024 election. So we do have some time on that one. And then we also spoke about concerns regarding the hate speech bill, which actually the Portfolio Committee on Justice, the National Assembly's committee that's dealing with the bill, voted on that morning. So we met with the Deputy Minister in the afternoon, and the Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Justice voted on the hate speech bill that morning. And they basically voted for the version of the bill that would see people going to jail for up to 8 years for the crime of hate speech. And as our viewers and listeners will know, the crime is very widely defined in the bill, and the exemption clauses are problematic. So we were able to raise this with the Deputy Minister as well. And he suggested, rightly so, that we continue our engagement as the bill moves on towards the second House of Parliament, the National Council of Provinces. He did say that government does intend to pass this bill into law before the elections in 2024. So 4SA wants to advise all our viewers and listeners that we really do need to make sure that every single person and organization sends in a submission on this bill, which can literally see you spend up to 8 years in jail for speech.
Yeah, we will obviously be monitoring this closely and carefully as it now progresses through to the National Council of Provinces, when in all likelihood there will be another round of opportunity for people to make submission. But I do think that it was very positive to have had that opportunity to really explain and to work through in some detail in a conversation with the Deputy Minister what our concerns were and why, and to really help bring perhaps a greater level of clarity to that. So I think very positive and very helpful. And certainly, I think one of the things that we've done, Daniela, and I think we've done successfully, and is perhaps one of the real benefits that 4SA has and gives to the faith communities, is that we have developed relationships with a number of government departments. For example, the Department of Basic Education, the Film Publications Board, the Department of Home Affairs, COGTA. And in fact, I'm going to be speaking tomorrow at the Sierra Rights Commission in Cape Town. They're having a dialogue on the definition of a religious community and the related rights. So I think, again, very positive that we've built these relationships and the goodwill that that generates, so that we really do have the opportunity to bring our legal expertise so that we can make sure that our right to faith and freedom, to freedom of religion, is properly represented at all these levels. So well done as well on the tremendous work that you did on the hate speech bill. I think it really paid off some dividends.
Thank you, Michael. No, I agree with you. 4SA's relationships and seat at the table with various government departments is definitely an incredible value add to the religious communities in South Africa. So after what has been a very busy week, where can people stay up to date with the work that 4SA does, and to see if there are any issues that they wish to engage in?
Well, obviously, the best place to start is our website, forsa.org.za. We also have a Facebook page, which is updated on a daily basis. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Twitter handle as well. But very importantly, please consider how you might support us and partner with us in the fight for faith and freedom. You can click on that important donate button, and also you can subscribe to our newsletters. So thanks for watching, and we will be back with another report next week.
Until next time.
Good day. This is Daniela Elevek, the Legal Advisor to Freedom of Religion South Africa. Remember to like and share this video, and then click on the subscribe button to make sure you never miss our video updates on vital religious freedom issues.